Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, White Plains, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your afternoons today to spend a little bit of time with me. I'm not going to take a ton of your time today, but I did want to just have the opportunity to give you a quick update as we head into the weekend and get ready for our next stage of reopening our facilities on Monday with our hybrid learning plans starting. So again, thanks so much for taking the time this afternoon. For folks who weren't able to, that's okay. We're going to leave this video up on Facebook just like we have in the past, and make sure that if anybody has any questions or any concerns that they can always reach out. The first thing I would like to say is as we approach the holiday weekend, to our community members, to our White Plains City School District family members who are celebrating the holiday this weekend, Happy New Year. I hope you have a wonderful New Year. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, happy and healthy, and on behalf of the Board of Education and everybody here in the district, enjoy. For those who are not celebrating the holiday this weekend, but are getting ready for next week, I'd also like to just offer all of our best for a restful weekend, and certainly we look for an amazing week next week. It is a big week. We started off our academic year 7 days ago with the phased-in approach to reopening our facilities, and that all of our children would be participating in their learning through the remote platform. We used this opportunity to connect with families, to make sure that we had all of our technological gear given out to our students, to make sure that we were working the bugs out of, or as my son says, the glitchiness out of all of the technology. I know that has been a challenge, and I know that it's imperfect. It certainly is an imperfect system, but I do want to thank all of you for everything that you've been doing and for all of your support as we worked through those 7 days. I know that remote learning brings with it a set of challenges. I was talking to a wonderful parent this morning. We were talking about how difficult it is for our youngest tigers in terms of remote learning, and it is. There's no question about it. We want to continue to try and make it better. We want to try and personalize our approach to the extent that we're able to. And certainly as we move forward, our reopening committee will continue to assess our particular situation here in the White Plains City School District and make any changes as needed. But I know that it's not easy. I do want to thank all of our teachers, faculty and staff members, our administrators for all the hard work that they're doing. And always our parents, guardians, and students for all the feedback and working so hard to make everything successful as well. As we move into hybrid, it is going to be different, and it's going to feel a little bit different. It's going to be different, certainly, even than our remote approach, but our faculty and staff members are going to do their absolute best. And I've been reminding everybody that perfection is elusive, right? Perfection is something that we strive for. We're always looking to grow and to get better, but at the same time, no one expects perfection as long as you're doing your absolute best. And this goes the same for everything that we're doing right now. And we are 6 months into the pandemic, and we've made a lot of progress. Our numbers are as low as they were, and hopefully they're going to stay that low, and hopefully we'll be able to be moving more and more and more back into our facilities as time passes. But that said, we also know that there's been a lot of hard work that's gone into getting us to where we are right now. We don't want to take any steps backwards. For our teachers, for our support staff members, and our administrators, I know that our community members are and have been so supportive, and I know that the way that we've been moving forward is by working together. So just a special shout out to our teachers and our support staff and our administrators for all of your hard work. And as you're getting ready for Monday, just know you have an entire community behind you. There's certainly going to be areas that we're going to need to make adjustments, and that's okay. There are going to be times where there are glitches or technological challenges, and that's okay too. We'll work through them. I know some folks were asking about bandwidth. Please recognize we have all the bandwidth that we need. It's really about the fact that everybody all throughout the region, indeed all throughout the country, are utilizing these platforms to engage in instruction, and sometimes it short circuits a little bit, but we work through it, and we will continue to work through it as we approach Monday into hybrid. And it isn't. And somebody said to me, it's not all rainbows and roses, Joe. And it's not. It's not. I know we smile all the time, and we're trying to do our very best, but we know how challenging it's been. And I just want you to know how grateful we are for all of your support and your patience and your flexibility. And I know as we move into next week, we'll get there, and we'll work through together, and we'll support each other. And moms and dads and Tigers, if things if things aren't working so well or you're having difficulty, let us know, and we'll make adjustments. We'll help you. We'll support you, just like we did in the past. We'll do that moving forward. So I'm looking forward. I am looking forward to Monday. I am looking forward to welcoming our Tigers back into our facilities on a larger scale. I know our faculty and staff members are too, and it's going to be a good day, and we're going to be able to move through it successfully together. With regard to athletics, Section 1 is still making determinations regard to athletics and how we're going to approach athletics this year. Obviously, any fall sports, it's going to be a compressed season, and we know that the 29th begins fall athletics. Only certain sports, unfortunately, and we're still looking at some other questions related to modified and related to other aspects of the athletic season. Everybody wants to be able to have our student athletes participate in athletics, and we're looking at ways that we'll be able to do that and still maintain all of the health safety requirements that we need to have moving forward to keep our facilities open so that we can keep playing sports. So all of these things are still being worked out, and we'll get you that information as soon as possible. I want to thank Mr. Cameron, all of our coaches, and everyone who's working hard there too. Communicating when we have issues of illness or concerns related to COVID-19 is going to be really important to us. I know many folks have been advocating or asking me, Joe, why can't we just test every kid every day coming into school? Unfortunately, we're not able to do that. Schools aren't able to do that. Medical professionals have to do that type of testing, and we are working with some partners in terms of being able to have access to testing if needed. But being able to wholesale test every single day is something that's out of our reach at the moment. But that said, we are going to be watching very, very carefully for any issues that may arise or any concerns related to potential illness, and we're going to be communicating with you. If you need to be informed about an issue related to potential illness or an issue related to an identified case of COVID-19, we are going to communicate that with you. What I want to caution against, and only because I've seen it happening in other school districts, is I want to caution against seeking that information from alternative sources that are not affiliated with health or the school district. I know how quickly a rumor, and you do too, how quickly a rumor spreads out of control, and that brings real fear and real panic and real consternation to families, and I want to try to avoid that. So what I'm going to promise you, and many of you know this already, is that when we have something to communicate with you, we will. If we have to make a decision to close a class or close a school for a period of time or move students into a remote setting, we will communicate that with you as appropriate. You don't have to worry about will they tell us. We will absolutely tell you. If you or your child have been in a situation where you could have potentially been exposed to COVID-19, you will absolutely be notified. So the good news is this: if you've not been notified, or if you're not being notified, or if you haven't heard anything, that's good news. That's not that you missed a call. We will make sure that we are notifying you as appropriate, as needed moving forward. Again, that said, it is likely that as we introduce more human beings into our facilities, that COVID-19 or other illnesses can pop up. So just prepare for that. Remember, there are some really, really basic but powerful steps that we can all take to reduce the spread of COVID-19 and other nasty bugs too, right? First and foremost, staying home when we're not feeling well. And that goes for adults and it goes for students. Parents, please make sure that every day you're monitoring your children for symptoms, including fever. Do not send them to school. Do not put them on the bus if they're under the weather. That is really important. Sending a child to school who is ill could potentially close the school. So don't do that. Keep the child home, even if you're unsure, just to make sure that the child is going to be safe and healthy before you send them in. Reach out to the nurse if you have questions. Making sure we're wearing our facial coverings, our masks. That's really important as well. If you're riding the bus, you have to wear a mask. if you're in our buildings, you have to wear a mask. Really, we're wearing masks all the time unless we're completely alone or we're taking mask breaks that are going to be monitored. I know that's a challenge for some folks. For people who can't wear masks because of medical situation, that's okay. But for everybody else, wearing our masks will help keep you safe, and it'll help keep me safe, and it'll help keep our schools open. Washing our hands, or if we can't wash our hands, making sure we're taking advantage of the hand sanitizer that is everywhere, all throughout our school facilities. Please make sure you keep your hands out of your face as well. That's really important. And then finally, physically distancing. And schools are not by design socially distant, physically distant communities. I know that. We all know that. It was a big lift to make our schools socially and physically distant. And we don't love it. And I know you don't either. But if we can keep distance, we can further guarantee or at least mitigate the chances of us spreading illness from one another. So for the time being, we're going to observe those. If you're observing them, if I'm observing them, the chances of spreading COVID-19 diminish a great deal. And that's going to help us stay open. It's going to help our facilities stay open. It's going to help bring back more students faster. So I appreciate that. I thank you in advance for making sure that you're attending to those best practices as we move forward. Please, if you haven't already, visit the district's reopening page, the web page on our district website. And again, another big thanks to our reopening committee. These are amazing stakeholders who participated in really a monumental task over the last 4 or 5 months. Thank you, everybody. And for those who haven't yet had a chance to take a look at the reopening plan, please do so. There's a lot of great information on there as well, and it's available to you at any time. Okay, that was a lot. And it's been a long week for you, I know that, but I do want to take a minute to answer any questions, like the old days. Remember the old days that we used to do Q&A? Answer any questions that you might have. Feel free to write them into the chat. If you don't have any questions right now, or you want to reach out another time, feel free to do that as well. I know that this has been tough. It's been a tough 6 months. We hit the 6-month mark this week, but you know what? We're making it through. And despite all the challenges and despite all the difficulties, we are making it through together. And we're ready for the next step on Monday. So, questions for anybody? All right, Sylvia, my kids are ready for hybrid school. Excellent. We're ready. We're looking forward to having it back. Thanks so much, Paulina. Happy Friday, Mrs. Buck. Yes, million thanks to our teachers, absolutely, and our support staff and our administrators. Thanks to everybody for everything that they've been doing. All right, no questions just yet. Well, that's okay. No questions on a Friday? Hi, everybody. Hi. No questions on a Friday. That's okay with me. Feel free to reach out at any time. We're happy to answer your questions. And really any question, any concern you have, and we can always direct you to the right person if you have questions that I might not know the answer for. So, oh, here comes a couple. What would warrant the idea of returning to school every day, 5 days a week? As soon as the government says that we're able to do that. Remember, we're operating underneath the New York State Department of Health guidelines for reopening facilities. That's the guiding principle right now. Hi, everybody. Yeah, hopefully vaccine or therapeutic treatment is on the horizon. Yeah, so everybody, for anybody who's asking, what's the step? What is the next step for us to get back to all children being back in school? That's going to be a decision that's made at the state level. So as soon as we, I suppose, keep these numbers as low as they possibly can, we'll certainly hope that that'll be happening soon. What time in the morning will we get the email for the temperature check? I usually get mine around 5:30. So you should have that pretty early in the morning. Thanks for the question, Mrs. Gordon. Will there be a police officer at the corner of Ridgeway? I'm not sure. Do me a favor, if you don't mind, please send me that in an email, and I will check with our security liaison. If they're usually posted there, I'm sure they will be for Monday. Question is, what if a child decides, or a parent decides, last minute for a child to go remote? Just let us know. It's not a problem at all. We're happy to help you. Just let your principal know, and we'll be able to assist. Yeah, absolutely. If the numbers stay low, we want 5 days a week. We want our children back. Believe me, I'll be advocating for that. It's all about the numbers. It's all about making sure we can get back in safely. Question is, if our child's not going to school, do we need to do the temperature submission thing in the morning? No. If your child's not going to be going to school, you can just write in that I'm not going to work or school that day. That's an option that's been added. All right, question is, first week of remote learning went pretty smoothly. Lots of teacher engagement. That's great to hear. Thank you. Yes, we are advocating for no high-stakes assessments again this year. We think that's important. We think we have to get back to the business of education, and that shouldn't be another stressor on our children. Thanks, Cheryl. About 6 a.m. for you via email. Great questions. If the question is if our child is remote and we want to go back to school, is that possible? It is. If circumstances change and you'd like to have your child go and participate in hybrid, that is certainly something that we can assist with. We've asked for parents to try to adhere to a marking period, but if something changes, feel free to reach out to your principal, and we can support you and help you with that. Great questions. Hi, everybody. All right. I will see you again next week. Certainly, I'll see some of you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Again, Happy New Year to those celebrating, and look forward to seeing you. Certainly look forward to seeing our Tigers on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. Not sure what that article was. Governor Cuomo announces something. I'll take a look at that. Where do we find the daily temperature check? You're going to get that email to you. Thanks so much. Don't forget K-12 alerts. If you've not yet updated your K-12 alerts with all of your contact information, please do that immediately. We need to make sure you're getting all of the information you should be getting. What do you think about the other schools in the area coming up with cases of COVID-19? I think, unfortunately, that's to be expected, and I think that's everywhere. You're welcome. Okay, everybody, have a great weekend. I'll see you next week. Stay strong and stay WP proud. Thanks, everyone.